We've all been there, right? That awful sinking feeling in your stomach after a huge setback. Well, today, we're going to talk about how to take that feeling of failure, that burnout, and actually turn it into real personal empowerment. So let's dive right in.
Now, the whole idea we're digging into today comes from a really powerful lesson from the Flying Wings online school. And what I love about it is that it gives us a super practical way to, completely reframe how we think about this stuff.
I mean, come on, we all know this feeling, don't we? You pour every ounce of your energy into something. Maybe it's a job, a scholarship, a huge exam, and you get a flat no. It just stings. It really, really hurts, and it's something we absolutely have to talk about.
Okay, so first things first, that initial gut punch you feel when you get rejected, let's be super clear about this. That is not a sign that you're weak. It's just a sign that you're human, period.
And look, it doesn't matter what it was you were going for. When you've put your time, your hope, your everything into something, feeling that sense of loss when it falls through, that is a completely normal, expected part of the whole journey. So, what does that actually look like? Well, of course, there's disappointment. That's a given. But then the anxiety starts creeping in, right? You start wondering, what do I do now? Sometimes it just feels so unfair. And, we almost always fall into that trap of looking at the people who did get it and comparing ourselves. All of this, totally normal. It's the standard first reaction. And this is the really crucial part. The problem isn't having those feelings, not at all. The problem is what we do with them. The real danger starts when we just let those emotions sit there and fester, and they start to morph from being about one single event into this massive, harsh critique of who we are as a person.
And that right there leads to something way more damaging. This is the point where a setback stops being just something that happened to you and starts feeling like something that you are. It becomes your identity.
It usually starts with something simple and just brutal. That little voice in your head kicks in. Suddenly, I didn't get the job turns into a much bigger, uglier thought. I'm useless. It's no longer about the outcome, it's a judgment on your entire worth. And from there, it just spirals. You go down this rabbit hole, and you start to internalize that one failure as proof that there's something fundamentally wrong with you. It's not about lacking one skill for one specific job anymore. Nope. It becomes this massive, sweeping verdict. I'm not capable. And that, in turn, leads to this crushing feeling of finality. Just pure hopelessness. You actually start to believe that this wasn't just an opportunity. It was the opportunity, the only one. And now it's gone for good. You can just see the dominoes falling one after another. This mindset isn't just a little bit of negative thinking. It's incredibly destructive. It ramps up your anxiety, it completely demolishes your self-confidence, and it leaves you feeling totally helpless, just paralyzed. And it gets physical too. It can leave you completely drained, with zero energy left to even think about trying again. So, okay, this brings us to a really critical moment. A fork in the road. Whenever we're faced with a setback like this, we have a choice to make. There are two very different paths we can take.
Let's break down these two choices. On one side, you've got the destructive approach. This is where failure feels like a brick wall, the end of the road. You take it super personally, you just stop trying, and all that negative energy just builds up. But then there's the other side, the empowering approach. And here, failure isn't the end. It's just data. It's experience. You take a step back, you ask why, and you use all that energy to get ready for the next thing.
All right, that sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do that? How do we make that switch to the empowering mindset? Well, it all starts with a simple shift. You stop treating the setback like a tragedy and start treating it like a puzzle that needs solving. Here's a super practical 4-step way to do it. Step 1, just acknowledge it, but be really specific. Don't say, I failed. Say, I didn't succeed in this specific opportunity. See the difference? Step 2, get curious. Stop feeling and start asking, okay, what part of this was weak? Step 3, analyze it. Be objective, like you're a detective looking at a case. And finally, step 4, improve. Take what you learned and use it to get stronger. It's a really powerful cycle. Seriously, that question right there, where was the weakness? It might be the single most powerful question you can ask. It literally flips a switch. It takes you from being a victim of what happened to being a student of it. And you can really break this down, get specific. Was it the cover letter? Did your grades not quite hit the mark? Maybe your interview skills were a little rusty. But, and this is super important, you also have to look at the stuff you can't control. Was the competition just insane? Were there hundreds of applicants for one spot? Maybe it came down to the evaluator's personal preference. Acknowledging those outside factors is a huge part of being objective.
And here's the best part. This is the real payoff. All that mental energy you were burning by beating yourself up, it doesn't just disappear. It gets redirected. It's now fueling something productive, getting better, getting stronger, and getting ready for the next shot.
When you boil it all down, it really just comes to this one thing. It's your energy, and it's your choice where you point it. And look, this is way bigger than just landing the next job or scholarship. This is about your fundamental health, your well-being. The way you decide to look at your setbacks has a real, tangible impact on both your mental and your physical health. This right here is the heart of it all. Every single one of us has a limited supply of energy. We can let it get eaten up by grief and feeling bad about the past, or we can invest it in empowerment and getting ready for the future. And that choice, it is always, always ours to make.
So I want to leave you with a question, a challenge, really. Think about a recent setback, something that's still kind of fresh. Now, using this analytical mindset, ask yourself this. If you were to try again today, right now, what is one specific, concrete thing you would do better?